morning, wonderful human beings, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Remy and I share lots of vegan recipes and tips to help you live well, and today we're going to be talking all about plant protein. I'm going to be walking you through my day and showing you what I eat today with a focus on high protein meals. So hopefully I'll be able to provide a little bit of high protein vegan meal inspiration and also share with you some of my best tips to get more protein into your diet without necessarily relying on protein powder, because I know that's not something a lot of people want to do. If you are vegetarian or vegan like myself, you may be able to relate to this, but I feel like as soon as I stopped eating meat, people became all of a sudden very concerned with where I was getting my protein. I think for a lot of us, when we hear the word protein, we automatically think of meat, animal products, you know, maybe like chicken breast, eggs, that kind of thing. But there are a lot of actually plant protein rich foods as well, which are some of the things I'm going to be showing you today. Now, there is no denying that we all need protein in our diet. It's also super essential for muscle recovery if you're a very active person or someone who likes to work out. But I do think that there sometimes is a little bit of an over-exaggeration about how much protein we need. I'm not really here to get into all of that today, okay? That's like its own can of worms, but I do want to show you some meal ideas that are high in protein and just some ways that you can incorporate more plant protein into your diet, whether or not you're vegan or vegetarian. I think sometimes it is nice to switch it up, and there's no judgment here. This is purely just to show you what your options are if you are curious about plant options for protein. I will be featuring some soy and tofu products, but it's not all tofu, I can promise you that. And I will not be including protein powder just because I feel like it's pretty obvious that that's an option. And I will share my favorite brand with you, but I won't be using it in my meals today. So let's get into breakfast because I'm actually pretty hungry. I did quite an intense workout this morning and I could definitely use a refuel. All right, so for breakfast, I'm gonna start by making pancakes. And my very first tip to incorporating more protein into your diet is to use alternative flours. So I'm actually gonna be using chickpea flour, which is one of my personal favorites because it is naturally high in protein. The only ingredient in chickpea flour is chickpeas, so you're essentially eating dried ground chickpeas. Other similar flours include quinoa flour, which has some protein in it, lentil flour, fava bean flour. There are actually some pretty cool flour alternatives out there. Regular flour does contain a decent amount of protein as well. In fact, it is worth noting that most foods in general do contain some amount of protein, so we'll just leave it at that. But I'm gonna be using some chickpea flour to make some matcha flavored pancakes, and I will leave a recipe on the blog that is similar to what I'm making. I completely forgot to film a little taste test. I was getting so into it after I took all the shots, almost finished all my pancakes, but let me give you a little live taste test reaction. Here we go, big bite. I love pancakes, and I feel like they're such an easy food to make with alternative flours. Just such an easy way to kind of boost up the protein and still eat something delicious in the morning. I think I'm about ready for lunch, and I wanted to make some high protein pasta, but I've decided against it because this is something I realized I have included in a lot of my past what I eat in a day videos. So I'll include some clips here. You can probably find like my go-to recipe in a lot of the older videos, but I did want to include it as a tip because it is a super duper easy way to basically enjoy pasta, but also be getting in a significant amount of plant protein at the same time, which I think is awesome. It's an easy go-to for me because, you know, when you're really lazy and you just want to make something quick, this is kind of it for me, but I know that it checks off all the boxes and has a decent amount of protein as well. So these are just a few of the high protein pastas that I have and really like. Bonza is probably one of my favorites. You can see here 23 grams of protein, but also 8 grams of fiber, which is pretty incredible. Also has this handy comparison between a chickpea-based pasta and kind of a conventional pasta. Like I said, regular flour does contain some protein too. So it's not to say that regular pasta isn't high in protein, but this is just significantly quite high in protein. And these are gluten-free as well. I have them in an alphabet letter shape, which is pretty cool. This is not pasta, but this is edamame spaghetti. And this is also basically same concept. beans turned into pasta, which is pretty freaking rad if you ask me. This is just another chickpea based one. There's also like a lentil based one, so you got options. What I'm gonna make instead is some quick avocado toast and share with you guys a little bean hack. And this is for all of my people out there that hate canned beans. I totally get it because I used to be the same way, but this is one of the earlier hacks that I discovered that helped me to not only enjoy beans more, but also bulk up my avocado toast. So basically the trick is to mash your avocado with soft white beans, and it's really texturally similar. So for people who are like, oh, I hate the mushiness of beans, if you like avocado, most likely you're not gonna mind it together, and the flavor really helps as well. So you just add in your avocado, your beans, your seasoning, mash it together, and you just kind of get a little bit more of a bulked up avocado toast with extra fiber, protein, and also it's a great way to stretch an avocado if you don't have quite enough or as much as you wish you had. It kind of like stretches out the avocado and turns it into more spread for your toast. So that is my best tip for sneaky beans. I feel like I could do an entire video on how to eat beans for people who hate beans. Let me know if you'd want to see a video like that. But to top it all off, I'm also gonna add a sprinkle of my protein topper, which is essentially a mix of nuts, seeds, and nutritional yeast and spices. Nutritional yeast, let's talk about that for a second. So this is nutritional yeast. If you are not vegan or vegetarian, you may not know what it is because I had no idea it existed until I went vegan. A lot of people love it because it actually has a very kind of cheesy, savory flavor to it. It adds a lot of savory umami to a dish, but also a lot of protein. So in 1 tablespoon, there's about 5 grams of protein according to this brand that I've purchased anyways, which means that in 2 tablespoons, you can get anywhere from 8 to 10 grams of protein. Pretty incredible, especially because this stuff can almost be sprinkled on anything savory, kind of like Parmesan cheese. I like it on pizza, pasta. When I make my protein pasta, I use this as well. And what I've recently been doing is making kind of like a vegan Parmesan protein sprinkle. And I'll put this on pretty much everything. It's great on salads, toast, like I did with my avocado toast, and it adds just a little bit of extra protein and flavor, most importantly. So I really like this, great way to do it. Otherwise, feel free to just, go raw and put this right on top. Along with my toast, I think I'm gonna also have a little side salad. I feel like I'm not really getting greens in today, and that'll happen when you just focus on one macronutrient. I'm a big believer that all 3 are essential. I would never villainize any one of them. But when you do really focus in on just one, sometimes you forget to eat other things that are important to your diet. So my tip, even if you are really focusing on protein, don't forget about the micro and macronutrients. They're all important. Your body needs them all. So let's make a little salad. Guys, I've changed into real clothes finally. I'm just massaging in some truffle dressing into the salad right now. I've been so into this dressing. It makes me want to eat a salad just so I can have the dressing lately. But really, really great. And when I make a salad, generally I do always try to think about what kind of protein I want to incorporate. You could do tempeh, tofu, a faux chicken, any kind of faux vegan meat actually is usually also quite high in protein. A wilted piece of spinach, get rid of that. Those are the worst. Also, I wanted to say that salad dressing is a great place to use nutritional yeast. Great for adding cheesy flavor, but here are my dressed greens. And since this isn't really like just a salad as my meal, I already kind of had the bulk of my lunch, I'm gonna just put on a little bit of these tempeh chips that I made recently as some textural crunch and the protein of the salad. These are my tempeh crisps or chips. It's basically just super thinly sliced tempeh, which is a protein made from soy, kind of like tofu, but it's fermented and a lot more firm in texture. And I coated these in my healthy buffalo sauce, baked them to a crisp, and now they're super crunchy. So I really like it on top of salad. I also made some everything bagel flavored ones over here. And I kind of snack on them just as like a snack, but they're also great on top of salad. So I've seasoned these pretty generously. And I would say that's also a big tip that I have for you guys is that when you are eating vegan protein or plant protein sources, to use seasoning because, it's just like any other protein. You wouldn't eat like a raw boiled chicken breast, right? Well, maybe some people do, but you need to season things. And rule of thumb is honestly, you can usually season things kind of as you would regular protein. So you can treat your tofu with your favorite chicken marinade for flavor. I'm gonna add one more thing, bringing back this salad topper thing for extra crunch and flavor. It's just really, really good. I can actually turn this into maybe like a recipe if you guys need, but it's super simple. And then I'm gonna add some pumpkin seeds also. Pumpkin seeds are one of the most protein-rich seeds, and they're really delicious. So this is how it's looking so far. So here is my salad. I'm gonna eat this quickly and then head to the grocery store and bring you guys with me because I want to pick up some snacks in general and show you guys some of my favorite high protein snacks. I don't know about you guys, but I love truffle. I know it's kind of a love or hate thing. I'm so into it. I always have been because I think I like mushrooms in general. It's a little bit of a big bite, but. Okay, I'll see you guys at the grocery store. We're back from the grocery store. This has to be one of my all-time favorite high protein snacks that I'd recommend. It's vegan, gluten-free, kind of tastes like vegan Doritos to me. And the thing is, I'm not really a chip girl, so that's saying a lot if I really like a chip. I also really like Hippies cheddar, which I showed you guys at Whole Foods. I didn't end up picking them up because I actually have a lot of leftovers to work through, so I haven't really been snacking as much as I usually do. But let me just eat one of these on camera for you guys. We'll do this beauty guru style, okay? So here's the close-up texture. This is what she looks like. And I'll see the crunch. So good. I don't even like chips. I'm obsessed with these. Seriously, so good. And this is not sponsored. I buy their stuff all the time and I got my family on it. Add to the list, Bada Bean snacks. Killer. Those are like my top 3 high protein snacks. But aside from getting snacks, you can also opt for something a little bit more whole food and unprocessed and also homemade. You can just roast up some chickpeas and season them because they do sell that at the store, just like roasted chickpeas. You could do it at home yourself, just season them liberally. Same thing with like tempeh chips, you could make them at home. But if you don't want to, those are just some of my store-bought favorite options. And I want to talk really quickly about bars. I definitely had a phase with bars. Like I was very hooked on bars. I would eat them as like a snack. I would eat them as a dessert. I would eat them as a post-workout treat. And the thing is, I would find myself too often opting for a protein bar instead of like a meal because I would just be like, oh, like it has everything I need and it's quick and convenient, but I was missing a lot of the micronutrients like greens and things like that. And yes, I was getting protein, but I was also getting a lot of things that I maybe didn't necessarily need to eat. Definitely a lot of chocolate because if you're anything like me, the best bar flavors are always peanut buttery and chocolatey. However, I do still eat a few protein bars. These are not the highest in protein. They have, I think, 10 grams of protein. Eat them if you enjoy them. I definitely do from time to time. And I have a YouTube video on my channel taste testing a bunch of my favorites, which I'll link up here somewhere. But at the current moment, these are definitely one of my favorites because I no longer view them as like a protein source, but more as just like a snack bar. So Go Macro, absolute favorite. This flavor, oatmeal chocolate chip, so freaking good. If you know, you know. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is protein powder. And I definitely do use protein powder from time to time, mostly because it's convenient and I do like the way that it tastes and it thickens my smoothies up nicely. But it's absolutely not a necessity. Like there are many days in the week that I go without any protein powder. It's like I said, just for convenience. But if I do use one, this is my go-to brand. I just wanted to throw that in there for anyone who is looking for a good vegan protein because after trying so many, like guys, I've been vegan for over 6 years at this point. I have tried the good, the bad, and the very bad. And this is not only great in terms of flavor, but also texture, has a decent amount of protein in it, also has some added adaptogens, and I'll leave a link in the description box with my discount code if you want to purchase anything from them. But yeah, it's really just nice to know that if you want to get a little extra protein, you can really easily. And there are plenty of non-vegans that also use protein powder, so it's not just because you're vegan that you need it. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But if you are someone who generally uses protein powder and you want a vegan option, this is it. Alrighty, I am headed to dinner now. I'm going to a restaurant that I've had on my to try list for a while, but I haven't been to yet. And I figured I would just talk about restaurants because I think that sometimes when you're eating out as a vegan, the options are kind of like avocado toast, pasta, kind of just like plain veggies, which are awesome. I'm always grateful for vegan options at any restaurant, but I do feel like sometimes it is lacking in protein. So I would say if you can go to kind of like an Asian leaning restaurant, they'll usually have tofu, tempeh. You can also look for restaurants that have vegan meat alternatives, so like a vegan chicken. So just check out the menu in advance, and I feel like vegans in general tend to do this anyway because it's great to know what you're gonna be able to get when you're getting to the restaurant, but also sometimes it's great to call in advance. So the restaurant I'm going to today is called Glur. They have a huge selection of not only vegan, but also gluten-free items, which is just what I need. They have tofu, tempeh, and vegan chicken available. So they've really got like a mixture of everything. I'm pretty excited. I don't know what I'm gonna get yet, but I know that I'll get something with protein in it for you guys. So let's head downtown. I'm actually pretty hungry, and I've got a long walk ahead of me, so we'll see you there. Okay, they have tofu, vegetarian duck, vegan chicken made from soy, and impossible meat. We got options.
This is a lot of protein.
We have tofu satay with peanut sauce, massaman curry with vegetarian duck, and pad thai with veggies and tofu. So we have a lot of tofu. Hi guys, it's officially the next day. I'm crouching down like this because my kitchen island where I usually have you guys set up is a mess, but I got home and I completely forgot to end the video. As you guys saw, I ate a ton of protein for dinner. It was actually super easy. Loved that restaurant. I will be going back. Highly recommend if you live in New York. But I hope these tips were helpful. I know that a lot of people really do believe that being vegan means you can't get enough protein. And I just wanted to show you ways that you can do that with or without protein powder and meat alternatives. Basically, what I'm trying to say is you have options. It's 2020. Things are so much easier now than they were when I first went vegan, which was probably back in like 2013 or something like that. And even if you're not trying to necessarily go vegan right now, or that's not a goal that you really have in mind, maybe it's just that you want to eat a little bit less meat or are just kind of curious what it's like to eat plant-based protein, then I hope this video has helped you out just a little bit. If it has, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite plant protein source is. And if you'd like to see another video about hiding beans in your food, let me know, because I feel like I'm an expert on that. I've kind of taught myself to like beans over the last few years of being vegan, and now I love them. Anyways, gonna end this video here because I'm kind of crouching and it's probably not great for my back, but I'll see you in another video soon. Bye.